President Biden has described the evacuation from Afghanistan as an extraordinary success. His words, extraordinary success. This has to be the lie of the 21st century. It's dishonest, and if he believes it, it's delusional. America can no longer ever say we leave no American behind, because Joe Biden did. And by your own testimony and your words this morning, there are still about 100 Americans trapped behind enemy lines. But this withdrawal, and you've heard it from other senators on both sides of the aisle, has been an epic failure. No planning, no strategy. No, it was cobbled together at the last minute, disorganized. It didn't have to be this way.
Senator John Barrasso has not held back in his questioning of Antony Blinken today. The Wyoming senator told the Secretary of State that President Joe Biden has described the evacuation out of Afghanistan as an extraordinary success, and that statement has to be the lie of the 21st century. He says that it is dishonest, and if Joe Biden believes that, then he is delusional. He opens his questioning by telling Mr Blinken that America can no longer say they leave no American behind, because Joe Biden did when those 100 American citizens were left behind in Afghanistan. Antony Blinken has faced day 2 of blistering questioning at the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee hearing. The Secretary of State gave his testimony as US lawmakers attempted to examine the botched withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. The Biden administration's operation to end the 20-year war in Afghanistan has been described as fatally flawed by the chairman of the committee, Robert Menendez. Evacuating US soldiers left Afghanistan vulnerable, with Kabul falling to the Taliban quicker than ever expected. It saw thousands of Afghanis fleeing to the city's airport, desperate to leave the country for fear of what was to come, with some citizens even hanging onto military planes as they took off. A twin terror attack carried out by ISIS-K at the international airport left 175 Afghans and 13 US soldiers dead. The country is now facing a humanitarian crisis with a lack of food supplies. Today's hearing is an attempt to get to the bottom of why this operation played out like it did, despite President Biden continuing to call it a success. Senator James Risch, who chaired the committee during Trump's era, said, "One of the things we need to get to the bottom of is who's responsible for this, who made the decisions. While I supported a reasonable end to their war in Afghanistan, no American thinks we should have left this way. America cannot end a war simply by walking away." Senator Rand Paul grilled Mr Blinken over the drone strike that killed innocent civilians, including 7 children. He asked the Secretary of State whether the Biden administration knew if the airstrike killed an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative.
The guy the Biden administration droned, was he an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative?
The administration is, of course, reviewing that strike, and I'm sure that a full assessment will be forthcoming.
So you don't know if it was an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative?
I can't speak to that, and I can't speak to that in this setting in any event.
So you don't know or won't tell us?
I don't know, because we're reviewing it.
Well, see, you'd think you'd kind of know before you off somebody with a Predator drone, whether he's an aid worker or he's an ISIS-K. See, the thing is this isn't just you. It's been going on for administration after administration. The Obama administration droned hundreds and hundreds of people. And the thing is there is blowback to that. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I see these pictures of these beautiful children that were killed in the attack. If that's true, and not propaganda, if that's true, guess what? Maybe you created hundreds or thousands of new potential terrorists from bombing the wrong people. So you got to know we can't sort of have an investigation after we kill people. We have an investigation before we kill people. We got plenty of bombs. We can bomb almost anything we want from anywhere in the world. Maybe we should have bombed the helicopters and the planes that we left behind. I mean, even though you said you didn't know any of this and it was all surprise, once they took all of our stuff, we should have said you got 20 minutes to get out of it because we're going to blow it all up. Then you would have sent a message of strength. Instead, we bombed somebody who we're not sure whether it was an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative. See, that's not sending a signal of strength, and in the end, there will be more blowback from it. If you killed an aid worker on accident, I mean, do you think we're better off because of that?
Ted Cruz told the Secretary of State there were 4 decisions made by the Biden administration that were indefensible.
Number 1, abandoning the Bagram airfield, giving it to the Taliban. That is a decision that 100 years from now will be studied at war colleges as a colossal strategic mistake, giving up 2 secure airfields, necessitating an evacuation from a dense urban environment, a commercial airport, which led tragically to the suicide bombings and murders that killed 13 American servicemen and women. Had we been evacuating from Bagram with a secure perimeter, the odds are quite high. That attack either wouldn't have happened, or if it had happened, it would have been far less severe in its consequences. Secondly, the Biden administration giving the Taliban a list of Americans and of Afghans we wanted out. Third, the decision to leave Americans behind. Hundreds of Americans, perhaps more, perhaps thousands of green card holders, tens of thousands of Afghans who assisted the U.S. military. The Biden administration abandoned them and left them behind. And fourth, leaving billions of dollars of American military equipment that the Taliban will now use to threaten our lives.